Hi guys, thanks for coming to my channel. This is where we're going to be looking at audiobooks and how we can improve what we can do and what we can learn from some of the best audiobooks in the world. And I want to let you in on a little secret. If you're not a fast reader, I'm not either. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be conquering that with audiobooks. We can listen to the audiobooks. I'll show you how, and if you have any questions, let me know. So let's get into this. I look forward to going on this journey with you. And next to our building, there was a construction site, a skyscraper. And in there, I could see two people looking into our building, almost exactly like what my situation was like 6 years earlier. So, did I set it as a goal? I'm not sure. But the point is, when I was an electrician, I had no idea how to get to the office. I got there. Maybe I set it as a goal. I didn't write it down. So now, with my new written down goals, what can I achieve? What is possible? And yeah, that's just a little story for me. So one of the nice lines it says is, set yourself a goal, and at precisely the same time, you and your goal will meet in the future, wherever that is. So set yourself a goal, set yourself a time, set yourself a duration, and you will meet that goal, as it says here. I hope so. I've set some pretty big goals. If you want to know what some of my goals are, I will be letting you know throughout the channel. One of them is I'm learning Mandarin, and I've been doing that for about 2 years. So when you see my work, that's 2 years worth of effort. The bullet points of this are: write down goals, set yourself goals, and start making plans every day to achieve your goals. That's the bullet points of this whole book. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, think about what you want. Write down specific things that you'd like to get. I want to earn X by this time. I want to be in this amount of shape by that time. I want to have a wife, have a kid, whatever you would like. Think about it, write it down, and put a date by it. I would like to achieve this by X date. And apparently, that massively increases your odds of getting this done, so why not? Huh? Isn't it worth a shot? There's a really interesting line that Jim Rohn says, and he says, "An apple a day?" And everyone says, "Keeps the doctor away." And he says, well, if that's the case, why not? And since listening to that, I've actually eaten an apple a day, because he's right, why not, if it does keep the doctor away? In this book, he says the difference between successful and unsuccessful people is successful people think about what they want most of the time, and unsuccessful people think about what they don't want most of the time. So my question to you is, what are you thinking about, and could you think about what you want more and what you don't want less? Humans and homing pigeons have one thing in common, and apparently it's a cybernetic capability, which means that you don't need to know how you're going to achieve your goal, you just need to know what your goal is. And just by setting it, you will move unerringly towards the destination and the goal. So my thing, and my question, my point to you is, why not set a goal, write it down? I'm doing it since this book. Let's see what we can achieve. H.L. Hunt said success requires two things. Number one, to know exactly what you want. And number two, to determine the price that you are willing to pay to get it. One of the things that this book talks about is success always has to be paid for in advance. You have to pay the price before you can get the rewards. So, think about what you want, not what you don't want. Think about what you want, determine the price that you're willing to pay to get it. How much effort are you willing to do? Pay that price and your goals will get there. So, that's inspirational, right? In a Harvard Business School study and a book called What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School, Mark McCormack says that only 3% of the MBA graduates had written goals. Now, what does that mean? Why does it matter? Apparently, those 3% earned, on average, 10 times more than the people that didn't have written goals. So, why not? Let's write them down. One thing that I love about this book is the positive vibes. He says that not only must you know exactly what you want and determine the price that you're going to pay for it, but he talks about a lot of people being trapped in the past, saying that they didn't achieve what they wanted because of the parents, because of other people. And I used to have certain things that I used to blame. I used to think that being northern and from a typically working class background, that would affect what I can do. Completely self-limiting beliefs, absolutely no basis or grounding in reality whatsoever. So from now on, I'm discarding limiting beliefs, and if you have any beliefs like that about yourself, I would suggest you do the same. Because what a lot of these books say is, you might think that's what your thoughts are. It could just be that somebody told you that this will limit you, maybe 10 years ago, and you've internalized that thought process. So if you do have anything that you think limits you, maybe your accent, maybe it's, the way you sound, where you come from, these beliefs are typically only in your mind. Think about other people that have made it, that come from where you come from. In this book, it talks about people being trapped in the past, and it says that the biggest reason for failure is negative emotions of any kind. So let's be positive, right? Even in negative times, let's look for the positive, not obliviously positive. Look for the silver lining. Everything that you can talk about has got a potential benefit. If something terrible happened, it's a benefit because it'll mean that you're more likely to remember that and never let it happen to you again. There are 4 root causes of negative emotions. So the 4 root causes of negative emotions of any kind are justification. As long as you can justify what you did because somebody else did something else, you're going to feel that negative emotion. Another thing that he says is explaining. He says that negative people are always explaining why they feel like that and justifying the reason that they feel a certain way. And I've been in this camp too, so it's good for me to think about, if I can justify and I can explain why my behavior was X because someone else did something else, they're controlling me, and it leads to negative emotions, negative thoughts that are toxic to you achieving what you want to achieve. So the first one is justification. Second, it's explaining. Third is rationalization. Rationalizing, some crazy thing that you did to make it make sense to you. So if you can rationalize, explain, justify, these are 3 of the 4 factors that could be giving you a negative mindset, a negative vibe, a negative thought. So, if you are doing those things to explain what you're doing and explain why you're in this negative mindset, it could be the opportunity for you to, as Henry Ford said, intelligently start again. He says, if you can justify it, you'll feel negative emotions. He says, but if you say to yourself, oh well, these things happen, the negativity and the angry thoughts disappear. He said, when you rationalize, you give a socially acceptable answer to something that is socially unacceptable. So you essentially rationalize, your crazy behavior. He said that this can lead to an oversensitivity about how people, or how you respond to how people talk to you, how people think about you, what they say to you. Do you react a little bit too quickly sometimes? Could you be oversensitive? This could be a result of the negative thought processes that you could eliminate with hard work and effort. It's not easy, guys. Absolutely not easy. So he says, these justifications lead to anger, embarrassment, shame, feelings of inferiority. And he says that the 4th cause of negative emotions is blaming. Now, he explains and describes this as the trunk of the tree of negative emotions. If you chop down the trunk, and you take responsibility, like we were talking about in the previous video, if you want to click on that, I'll put a link here. Not blaming anybody for anything, taking complete responsibility. And if you watch how you explain things, you can catch yourself sometimes. I actually thought that I was way past this, and then next thing, you catch yourself blaming, explaining, and labeling, and justifying the reason that you feel a certain way. So, yeah, and I'm sure I'll trip up again. If you can't blame anybody, there are no negative emotions. Can you stop the blame game? This book talks about seeing yourself as the master of your own fate. See yourself as completely in control of everything that you do. In mindset, believe it. Think about it. Think about it all the time, because you become what you think about most of the time. The book talks about something called locus of control theory, which is depending on where the locus of control is. So what controls your life? Is it internal? Is it you? Do you control your life? Or is it external? Now it says when you believe that external factors control your life, you will be unhappy. You'll have these negative feelings. You'll have these anger, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. However, if the locus of control is within you and you believe that you're the center and you're the thing that creates the responses, you're the person that chooses how you react, and you take this responsibility, that reduces and eliminates these negative thoughts. So where is your locus of control? Because are you doing what you want to do? And if you are, and your locus of control is within yourself, then you're not scared, you're not worried. because you're doing what you want to do and you're confident. Why don't you try it? Say it now. I'm responsible for everything in my life. It gives you a feeling of power, of stability. So the start of goal setting is to say you can be, do, and have whatever you want. And the process of just thinking that will get you on track to start achieving your goals, as long as you want it badly enough. So choose something that you really want. Choose something that you believe in, and make yourself determined to get it. And be determined to pay the price that you might have to get that. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be uploading the next episode in this series about goals tomorrow at 6 p.m. So stay tuned and let me know what you think.